Hello everyone and welcome back to another race of the Sony Cup Series 2021 season. On pole for today's race is DJ Kurtis, second in the championship race. Lost a handful of points after his second race, finishing outside of the top 30 in the last, actually, 3 races in the last 4. He has finished outside of the top 30. He has lost so many points, and he's 58 points trailing to championship leader Jesse Turner. Turner enters this race as the hometown favorite, and he's starting P3, right behind DJ Kurtis on the inside line. On the outside line for P2, it is Zaedin Davidson. Davidson has gathered up a lot of points in the last 5 races, and he also got a contract extension and signed on with this race team in the 91 to drive full-time next season. We talked about that a few races ago. But James Shelley, he won Indianapolis last weekend. It was a big confidence booster for him, and Shelley starts 5th today, just behind his teammate of Jesse Turner on the inside line. The Rodriguez Racing Camrys have been super fast in practice and in qualifying. They're in the first 3 rows, the 9 and the 10. Schwellenberg 3rd in the standings, Cody Lamas 4th in the standings. Schwellenberg and Lamas kind of outside favorites for the title, but really, it's going to come from the first 2, isn't it? If anything, the top 4 in the points are really where the title fight is. With 12 races to go, 11 after this one, every race is going to matter, and winning is paramount, especially for the drivers 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in the points. Anyone outside of it is going to be kind of unrealistic for them to take home the title this year. Notably, Jeffrey Lynn in the 76. He's starting in 9th position, and he was the winner last time out of this race. Let's get down to start the race as we get set and ready to go racing at Watkins Glen. We know how fast the Cybertron Motorsports cars were at Hawaii. Will they have that pace for this race? DJ Kurtis is surely hoping so. A win would do justice for him. Very poor races. His first DNF last race at Indianapolis. Jesse Turner taking 2nd. His teammate winning that race. They are starting on the inside line. The fastest cars that everyone's been worried about, the Rodriguez Racing Camrys. They're on the outside behind Davidson. The green flag is flying. We're racing. Down in a turn 1, DJ Kurtis trying to clear his teammate Zaedin Davidson, and he will. Further back, Jake Bassinger. Oh, Nick Mace is spun. Mace is spun around. The Red Bulls side by side up the hill in the S's. Sanford, England, Bassinger. Bassinger got loose and almost spun off somebody. But Nick Mace in car 20 is spun around and got hit by Jeff James. Here's what happened with Nick Mace. Right behind him, Alex Benyako for CM Racing. Benyako had a poor qualifying effort. Gets in the back end of Nick Mace, spins him around. Think Zach Rogers may have slight damage when hitting Nick Mace off turn 1. Jeff James in the 18 for Joseph Strigley Racing has a load of front-end damage. He may be falling out of the race. Complete lap 1 of the race. DJ Kurtis and Jesse Turner 1-2 in the points. Is going to be 1-2 after lap 1. Back in 3rd. Zaedin Davidson falls a couple places. James Shelley moves his way up the order into 4th. Matthew Rodriguez, Dylan Schwellenberg making a move on Cody Lamas. Dejon Weeks, Richard Johnson. Johnson had a very good qualifying effort. And his teammate Bobby Jones just behind him. Monster Energy Racing taking up 9th and 10th places after the completion of lap 1. But up front, Jesse Turner's got a big run on DJ Kurtis. And Turner trying to make a move on his rival for the title. Down to the bus stop. Turner trying to take the lead. Kurtis slides in the bus stop. And Turner, the crowd loving this. Jesse Turner overtakes his title rival and takes the lead at Watkins Glen. DJ Kurtis could be in trouble because in the penultimate corner of the 2nd lap, Zaedin Davidson has made a pass to get up into 2nd place. Oh, and Kurtis is sideways. DJ Kurtis very loose. Has not an answer for his teammate. Very good short run pace when you consider 1 lap. DJ Kurtis started on pole, but is slipping and sliding and is under threat from James Shelley, last week's winner at Indianapolis. Shelley got that win, and it was an option. If Shelley could win this season, he would have a 2-year deal with Turner Performance Racing, and Turner Performance Racing noted that in the interviews post-race, saying Shelley, happy to be on until 2023. So that is a long time for Shelley to know that he's on one of the best teams on the grid. But Jesse Turner trying to pull the gap. Zaedin Davidson trying to stay with him. Matthew Rodriguez in car 9 looking to move his way up to P4, and he makes that pass in the final corner. And Rodriguez picks off another race car. A lot of drivers picked Rodriguez and Schwellenberg to be the favorites. And Cody Lamas, the leading Chevy driver, Chevy, has really lacked in the win column this season. Only one win with Lamas in the Daytona 500. And Lamas has kind of fallen adrift in the point standings. Well, as far as points are concerned, still in the top 4 in the points and considered as one of the favorites for the 2021 title. But him and Schwellenberg are going to need to make something happen in these final 12 races. The highest of highs to a mediocre run at best, if really a poor showing for the Turner Performance driver. Jesse Turner's leading the race in his hometown, or home state really. But Dylan Young, he's in car 16 running in 24th position. Some drivers just really not showcasing the strengths that they should be doing. Chris Dodd, we know him and Bassinger really ought to be doing a lot better than this. And Bassinger down here in 20th. Chris Dodd 21st. A lot of drivers having mediocre runs right now. Dylan Young, though, we expected a lot more out of him. But 24th position, Ryan Griffin, his teammates are also up the running order. They're all in the top 10. Griffin has struggled before on the road courses. Kind of single file for the most part as drivers are getting things singled out and organized. Dom Capps finished on the podium in the Indianapolis 250. He's down here with his teammate in 26th and 27th. Zach Rodders not far off of Dylan Young in the Hero Motorsports Ford. And then Nick Heracles and Alex Spignaco. This is just not the run we really were expecting from the CM Racing team. Dejon Weeks is running in the top 10, but Spignaco got in the back end of Nick Mace, and he's all the way down in the 30th. And Nick Heracles in the 0. We know this car had pace at 12 of the year. Stephen Pollard III got a pole with this car, but CM Racing and Kurtis Racing, they've all kind of lacked a little bit in the last handful of races. Spignaco, and Heracles have spun in the bus stop. We were just focused on them, and Spignaco and Heracles, 2 of the CM Racing cars, have spun at the back of the field. It's just poor. CM Racing cannot be happy with this. Meanwhile, further up the road, DJ Kurtis in the 19 has fell all the way down to 7th. And up front, the front 3 trying to pull away. Kurtis is outside of the top 5. Struggling with the handle on that 19. His teammate of Zaedin Davidson is under fire from Matthew Rodriguez, who looks very good in this run. But Davidson also trying to challenge against Turner. And Zaedin Davidson looking to take the lead. Coming on lap 9. And Zaedin Davidson to the inside of Jesse Turner. Bobby Jones further back trying to make a move on Dejon Weeks. Richard Johnson's up to 8th. Bobby Jones is going up to 9th. Monster Energy Racing looking very good. Davidson takes the lead. 1 lap later, here comes Turner back at Davidson. And Turner might have this one. Yes, he will. He's going to take this position. Davidson gives him the space. Matthew Rodriguez still working on him. Here he comes. Rodriguez to the inside, now the outside. And Rodriguez is going to have the momentum. Going to get the draft off the 17. We talked about Chevy really having poor results in the last 5 or so races, 5 or 10 races. Just Chevy had been very inconsistent. And Cody Lamas, this has been a long time for him since he has been a top 5 contender. We know Lamas has been able to get top 10s, but has not really had the pace to be able to be battling for the lead and being in the top 5 in a very long time this season. He's alongside Davidson. Davidson still trying to fight it, but Lamas goes round the outside on Zaedin Davidson. He's also struggling a little bit with the handle on that 91. Cybertron Motorsports has very good cars, but You can tell they're just slipping and sliding. Shelley's able to get by of Zaedin Davidson as well. We could get a battle for the lead. Matthew Rodriguez has ducked out side by side to the bus stop. Jesse Tunner tried the same move on Kurtis earlier. They're still side by side, but into the carousel. The Pepsi Camry has had the downforce all weekend in these corners to just be able to sling the car in and carry the momentum through the corners. And Rodriguez Racing has had an answer this weekend. They have been super quick, and Matthew Rodriguez, who has really been super good on the road courses his entire career, really, is out front at Watkins Glen. Further down the running order, Jeffrey Lynn has dropped to 15th, but Sean Harple, a winner on the road course before at Trois Rivières on fuel mileage. Could these teams really consider a one-stop this race? It's a little different than last year, the way the fuel is. So maybe they can, and maybe they won't be able to. Jeffrey Lynn in his Horizon Group car, his best runs this year have been on the road courses, but he is really struggling since the green flag has dropped. He started in the top 10, but he keeps losing places. Jake Bassinger able to get by him up into 16th. Charles Sanford just behind him and in the Red Bull. Sanford was really good at Willow Springs and a car that possibly could have won there. And he's looking to make a move on Lynn here, going to the inside in the penultimate corner. Chris Stott has not really made any places up here. Samuel England in the top 20. He got his best finish in Indianapolis with a 12th place run for Red Bull Racing. Eric DeMax just outside of a top 10 place right now with Collins Fitzwater, Dylan Young, and Ryan Griffin. Race for second place, Cody Lamas making a move on Jesse Tunner. Lamas, what a sporty move by Lamas in the bus stop. And it's good to see Cody Lamas shine today. And the ILI Chevy is up to second place. And last week's winner in the Indianapolis 250 also trying to get into the podium positions. Side by side with Tunner, with the hometown favorite trying to battle back against Shelley. But Shelley fights his way around the outside, but Tunner prevails. Further back for the Martin Motorsports team, Don Capps on the podium at Indianapolis. His teammate Vince Freeze got the back end of him, and wow, you wouldn't really expect teammates to collide like they have today. The CM Racing boys were racing with each other in the bus stop, and they spun out, and Vince Freeze just kind of ran all over Dom Capps. Dylan Schwellenberg looking to pick off another driver. This is another driver in the standings that needs a good run today. And Jesse Tunner, the points leader, just in between Lamas and Schwellenberg. Lamas and Schwellenberg need to finish in the top 5 and really need to win a race, with Jesse Tunner finishing way outside the top 10. And that'd be very good for them in terms of the championship, but Jesse Tunner has just been super good. He's won so many races this year and has the best average finish of any driver currently, especially now. DJ Kurtis was way ahead of everyone with all of his finishes inside the top 20 all season long until 4 races ago. But DJ Kurtis has continued to drop back. Bobby Jones has made his way by him. Kurtis is on the back foot as we close in about halfway until pit stops. DJ Kurtis trying to hang in with the leaders. There's a problem for John Arndt. Arndt's car has died off the exit of the bus stop in the carousel, and Jake Bassinger runs right in the back of him, and John Arndt is going to have to get a tow back to the pits, and Arndt was running in 13th position. Wallenberg trying to pick off another driver. This time it is Jesse Tunner. John Arndt actually rejoining the race. And Schwellenberg up into the podium places. Here comes Tunner. Tunner right back at Dylan Schwellenberg. And this race for third is giving the leaders a chance to scoot away. And Lamas has came up right up on the back end of Matthew Rodriguez. Tunner's got the high ground off the corner. He's going to get the run. His teammate James Shelley has come to play. Going to give him a little assist. And DJ Kurtis has fell all the way down to 10th place. So right now, second in the championship, DJ Kurtis is losing more points. Schwellenberg trying to get his elbows out. Very aggressive with James Shelley in the bus stop through the carousel. Schwellenberg trying to fight against James Shelley. But up front, Cody Lamas has closed the gap on Matthew Rodriguez. Berg and Turner once again racing side by side, and further back for 6th place, Richard Johnson trying to go up another place. Monster Energy Racing looking very good on the racetrack. Johnson and Jones, they're doing that team proud today. Richard Johnson up into P6, looking like his old self. Now, Richard Johnson, this is a legend behind the wheel, and I don't know if we would have expected in 2021 to be talking about Richard Johnson to be within a shout of the top 5 places, and honestly have a car that strategy works out right, could be a winning race car, but way out front. The front two are checking out, Rodriguez and Lamas. Schwellenberg currently has the upper hand against Jesse Turner. Close up on pit stops. We'll give some love to the guys outside of the top 10. Ryan Acosta is in 11th, battling with James Sorfox. Jeffrey White's in 13th. 14th is Charles Sanford in his Red Bull. The UER car of Sean Harple is down in 15th. Chris Dodd has moved up some places. He's in 16th. Samuel England. Dylan Young's in the top 20 now. Same with Kyle Collins. He's gotten the top 20. Zachary Fitzwater just got passed by Zach Rodders. Zachary Fitzwater and even Fisher Motorsports, the entire Fisher team, has really struggled in the last handful of races. Just not had the pace. Jordan Davis is in 22nd position. Eric DeMax in 23rd. Vince Freeze, Jake Bassinger with his damage has slowed the pace of him, and he's so slow out there now. Jeffrey Lynn, a top 10 starting position, he is down to 26. Alexander Rowe, Charlie Smith, Jordan Fisher, Doug Lockrow, that's the top 30. Daniel Bouchard, Hayden Klein, Ian Dutta, Anthony Marchese, Alex Spignaco, and Nick Pericles. It's just not the run of race that they would have wanted today. 35th, 36th. And how about Randy Riggs Jr.? We haven't talked about him today, but he's making his Sony Cup Series debut for Great Lakes Motorsports, and he's keeping his car clean in 37th position. Then the car 37 of Ryan Griffin, I think he's had to pit for something. Griffin's down in 38, Nick Mason 39th, and we know John Art had his problem, he's in 40th. And then Dom Capps and Jeff James are out of the race. Pit road after 28 laps of racing. Matthew Rodriguez, the race leader, and Jesse Turner have had to come down pit road, get some 4 fresh tires and gasoline. The very next lap later, Cody Lamas took the race lead, led a lap. No bonus points for leading a lap anymore. Dylan Schwellenberg also coming down pit road, but James Shelley in car 71 goes out another lap. Who pits this lap? James Shelley, Richard Johnson. After completing 30 laps, going on lap 31, it'll be halfway in the race, and Dejon Weeks in car 3 is able to stay out. Dejon Weeks is able to make it halfway. So Dejon Weeks in car 3 for CM Racing, trying to stretch the fuel mileage. He is on fumes. He's got to be on fumes right now to be able to go another lap. Oh my goodness, it almost ran right in the back end of Anthony Marchese. And the way Dejon Weeks' luck has been this season, would not have been surprised if that happened. But Weeks has managed to go halfway a lot longer than anyone else. So he's going to be the best on fuel mileage to be able to try and stretch it. 31 laps, that is halfway in this race. Meanwhile, further back, Matthew Rodriguez will get the eventual race lead over Cody Lamas. James Shelley racing his teammate Jesse Turner off the pit. And Turner, I think, is going to get him. Yes, he will. Turner over James Shelley. Then Dylan Schwellenberg, Richard Johnson, Zaedin Davidson, DJ Kurtis, Bobby Jones. Ryan Acosta will be down in 11th position when this all cycles out. Dejon Weeks hits pit road. Dejon Weeks, his pit stop is complete, and car 3 is just ahead of Bobby Jones. Jones is all over him. This is a battle for 8th place. DJ Kurtis made adjustments on pit stops, and right now losing a lot of points. Looks like he'll be losing a handful of them. Jesse Turner is nearly going to be gaining 20 points on his championship rival of DJ Kurtis. Kurtis is only 6 seconds back to Jesse Turner. The title race is so important. Points, points, points. We'll talk about that for the final 10 races and even more when we get close to the season finale. When we get past halfway in the season, you know this is going to be the talking point, the championship race to the season finale. Jesse Turner won his last title in 2015, came very close to winning it in 2018, should have won it in 2018. 2019, the team was just nowhere in 2019, but came on late. 2020, they had a car capable to win the title, but Turner just had his worst season ever and was not on top of the points for his organization. But this year it's been completely different, and he has bounced back. He is in third place. Nick Mace just made his pit stop in car 20. He got wrecked on lap 1, turn 1. You know Nick Mace is not going to be happy with that. And we hear that Mace Enterprises could be one of the key teams in silly season. And Mace Enterprise is looking to field the car for the second car on that team. And we're hearing some big name drivers could be in contention to get that seat, as Nick Mace races side by side with his old rival through the bus stop, even though he's a lap down. Further up the road, Cody Lamas 3 seconds back to Matthew Rodriguez. Rodriguez looking very good, but they're all going to have to pit again, and will it even matter? We know Dejon Weeks is very good on pit strategy, and will he be able to make it all the way? He made it to halfway in the race, so that leads me to believe that Dejon Weeks has the potential to be able to make this on one stop. For Johnson to the inside of James Shelley to get in the top 5. The king himself. Used to call Richard Johnson the king because, man, was he so good back in the day. But it is now James Shelley got put to school by the veteran Richard Johnson. Just a simple dive bomb in a turn 1, but Richard Johnson looking superb out there today. P5. Lap 45 in the race. Matthew Rodriguez in car 9 making his second stop of the day. He's the first driver to come down pit road and make his second stop of the day. And many drivers I expect to be following him shortly. He's trying to cut this length in half. Comes Dylan Schwellenberg. Dylan Schwellenberg's also coming down pit road. So some more leaders taking down pit stops. Handful of laps. DJ Kurtis has been able to make some passes, some key passes. DJ Kurtis is up into 4th place. I believe only 10 drivers are still left running with 12 laps to go that have not made their second pit stop. Cody Lamas has a 5-second gap. And Jesse Turner's in 2nd, Richard Johnson 3rd, 4th DJ Kurtis, 5th James Shelley. Then it's Dejon Weeks in 6th, then Bobby Jones in 7th, Charles Sanford in car 5, Jeffrey White in the 11, and then Zach Rodgers in the 99. But behind him, Matthew Rodriguez has pitted. Some drivers further back still have not pitted. Eric DeMax, Jeffrey Lynn, Jordan Davis. We see Doug Lockrow also in this picture. Jordan Fisher, Charlie Smith, and Alex Bignacco in the top 20. They have not pitted yet. But Matthew Rodriguez in 11th position, trying to chase the top 10 down. And Dejon Weeks, you gotta think, he is sitting pretty. He is drafting off of these drivers in front of him, saving fuel. Maybe that's what he was doing in the beginning part of the race. But with Dejon Weeks' luck this season, will he be able to stretch it on one stop? In fact, it's kind of crazy to me that nobody has pitted yet. You know, everyone's kind of pitted other than the top 10. The top 10 have chosen to stay out a lot longer than everyone else. Cody Lamas out front. Down driver Randy Riggs Jr. has gotten in the way of Jesse Turner. James Shelley's able to make this pass on Turner. Dejon Weeks has got in the middle of this, but Turner in the 17. He's hit the outside wall. Look at the damage there. The damage on the 17 looks very severe for Jesse Turner. He may have to come down pit road regardless to fix that damage. That's what happened. Richard Johnson didn't make this pass because of Randy Riggs Jr. He made this pass because Jesse Turner made a mistake. And Turner just slapped the wall off the final corner. We have not seen many drivers do that today, but Turner went up and got it, and he's got a lot of damage that's going to hurt the corner speed. A lot of downforce, and the speed on the straightaway is just overall going to hurt the car so bad. And the next lap, Jesse Turner's on pit road in the car 17, and that team is going to have to make some adjustments on that car if it wants to be competitive on the straightaways. And that might take him way down the running order to repair damage. And here comes Cody Lamas. Lamas in the 48. Coming down pit road. Richard Johnson's in second place for Monster Energy Racing. And he's staying out. James Shelley, DJ Kurtis, Dejon Weeks are the top four as they stay out. Lamas comes down pit road. Now, Richard Johnson and I think James Shelley, they made it to lap 30, which went on to lap 31 when they went down pit road. So technically they made 31 laps. Could Richard Johnson and Monster Energy Racing be in the catbird seat for the upset today? Not gonna happen. Not off of a one stop at least. Richard Johnson has to give up the lead. Shelley promoted to P1 and battle for second place. Dejon Weeks to the inside of DJ Kurtis. Kurtis trying to put up a fight near contact off of turn 1. But Kurtis, oh man, every time in a turn 2, Dejon Weeks gets very close to contact. Weeks up to second. James Shelley out front again. We only have, 7 laps to go? It'll be 7 to go when we get back to the line. That's a long time for these drivers to try and stay out and try and make it on fuel. However, I mean, it is possible, you know. I mean, a lot of drivers have already pitted for their second stop of the day, but the front 3 have not. But looking further back, looking for Matthew Rodriguez. He is in 4th position now that Richard Johnson has pitted. Cody Lamas is up in the top 5. Eric Tamax isn't pitted yet. He's in 6th place. There's Richard Johnson. He got a great stop. He's ahead of Jordan Davis, who still hasn't pitted. Young Wicked Racing in the top 10 right now because he has yet to pit. Dylan Schwellenberg has also bounced off of somebody. I think he might have bounced off the final corner. But regardless, he's got a lot of run, a lot of pace. Looking to try and challenge Jordan Davis down the straight. Right at the line, there'll be 5 laps to go. Dejon Weeks looking to get his first win of the season. He's side by side in the bus stop. Weeks has the best amount of fuel mileage to any of the top 3 here. DJ Kurtis, oh, he's right on the back bumper of James Shelley. Shelley, oh! Contact with Shelley and Kurtis. Kurtis gonna move his way up to second place. Absolutely moved him. Kurtis needs these points. That is 4 extra points he's getting, passing James Shelley. Shelley in the 71 really losing a lot of momentum there. Dejon Weeks out front. DJ Kurtis, second in the championship, has closed this gap. Will they have to pit here? None of the leaders pit. Matthew Rodriguez is hoping that these front 3 have to pit because he has a big margin to Cody Lamas. Lamas is not even off the final corner. Eric Demax has been able to make this pass. I'm surprised with that. Lamas was ahead of Demax, and then Demax, he's only on a 1 stop right now. Definitely not saving much, it feels like. I don't know what's wrong with Lamas. He is just very, very slow. But the leaders have yet to pit. Shelley lost some momentum. Kurtis could really use this in the championship. He's got his eyes set on the back end of Dejon Weeks. Down the straightaway, not able to make a move. Jesse Turner, currently, he is in 16th position. Jesse Turner trying to claw back any position he can. Young Wicked Racing still has Jordan Davis in the top 10. Weeks had a great run out of the carousel. It'll be 3 laps of racing to go. CM Racing winless so far this season. And Dajon Weeks, he has came close many a times with CM Racing in the 31 last year and the 3 this year. A lot of them that coulda, woulda, shoulda, and got away from him. He's leading the race, but one of the best of all time, really. You know, Kurtis, he is just up there. He is up there, probably top 5 driver in the series, and definitely top 5 of the active drivers, I would say, of drivers on the circuit. Weeks has been put up there on the pedestal as one of the top talents of the series, but he has yet to deliver in the last 2 years. And he's under challenge by DJ Kurtis. Both drivers trying to manage some fuel and try and win this race. Weeks is better on fuel than Kurtis. Shelley kind of fading a little bit. His car pushing in the carousel. Kurtis would desperately love to get this win. He has absolutely just put a beating on some of these drivers in the wins column this season. Oh, he's going to have to come down pit road. Kurtis and Shelley cannot make it. And Dajon Weeks comes to the line with 2 laps of racing to go. Where is this going to put Kurtis and Shelley? They're definitely not going to come out ahead of Matthew Rodriguez. And Rodriguez is just saying one more. One more. With 2 laps of racing to go. DJ Kurtis and James Shelley. Kurtis really hoping for a quick pit stop. A splash and go for the car 19. Beautiful work for the 19. Kurtis trying to get out ahead of Cody Lamas. Kurtis off the pit road. What a run this could be. DJ Kurtis could possibly be the 2nd driver behind Matt Rodriguez, and he is. If Dajon Weeks has to pit, 2nd place could be on the cards. So we come back to the line. It'll be the white flag one more time around. Can Dajon Weeks make it? He doesn't have to pit. Aren't in the 43 a lap down pits. The white flag is displayed. Final lap on the circuit for Dajon Weeks. It has been 59 races since Dajon Weeks' last win in the Sony Cup Series, dating back to Darlington in 2019. He was leading the championship standings the last time he's won. He's a long ways from the championship lead now. But Dajon Weeks and CM Racing, man, if you think about it, CM Racing has had a poor race today. You know, Alex Bianco, Nick Pericles crashing early on. That probably made them want to walk away and not look back at this race. But their other driver, Dajon Weeks, the most experienced one of them all. You know, only 8 top 10s out of 18 races. You probably would have expected more out of Weeks. He is 7th in the point standings, 246 points back entering this race. It's too far back, really, to be a realistic title contender. Moving over to Monster Energy Racing next year. But for now, Weeks and CM Racing are winners in the Sony Cup Series. Weeks breaks a 59 race winless streak, and Dajon Weeks breaks that bad luck that he's had for pretty much 2 years. Weeks gets the win. Dajon Weeks is victorious. Matt Rodriguez comes 2nd, just like he did last year. But instead of last year saving fuel, this year he was the closer. And this year, he feels the same pain that the man in 3rd today felt last year. DJ Kurtis was the closer last year. This year, he played it smart, and he came out ahead of Cody Lamas. And Eric DeMax had to save late in the run. And he got 6th place. He made it on fuel as well. And he's just about out of fuel if he isn't already. Zaedin Davidson gets a top 5 for Cybertron Motorsports in 5th. James Shelley getting in 7th. Dylan Schwellenberg 8th. Yeah, DeMax got to be out of fuel. Richard Johnson and Bobby Jones for Monster Energy Racing, 9th and 10th. That is a good result for those drivers. But Dejon Weeks, I think a lot of people, a lot of fans, and a lot of drivers and teams were wondering when this one was going to come. Because Dejon Weeks is one of the top talents of the series. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm going to check real quick. This is his 8th win of the series. Let me check real quick. Yep, this is his 8th win in the Sony Cup Series. Long time coming. 59 races ago since his last win, and finally breaks that winless streak. Congratulations to Dejon Weeks and CM Racing on getting the win this afternoon. Let's get you to our finishing results and standings after round 19.